Hello there, YouTubers. Let's take another closer look at the Canon HF G10. I have sold this again. I can't afford to have two high-end camcorders, as you can no doubt imagine. So this is going to be the last chance. So let me go ahead and start by going across the features and functions that this has. Now up front we have the nice big focus ring, really nice to have. Behind that are the microphones. The positioning of those, you really have to keep that in mind, because what I found out is when I'm supporting the camcorder with my other hand, I like to grab it around the lens, and what I oftentimes end up doing accidentally is I put my fingers down onto the microphones, which is of course an absolute no-no. Here we have the big high-resolution 3.5-inch LCD screen. Up on top we have a little power button. We flip this open and push the button. Camera turns on. As you can see, I right now have it in the auto mode, which reduces the amount of on-screen controls a little bit. If I switch it over to manual, you can see that changes. And now we already have quite a few more controls, such as an audio level meter, which is really nice to have. So you can see we also get a real-time display for the battery life. That's nice to have. The camcorder has 32 gigabytes of built-in memory. That's what's being indicated right there. And it also has a whopping 2 SD card slots. SD cards go in right there. This camcorder does support the modern SDXC cards, I believe up to 64 gigabytes. So you really won't run out of memory on this camcorder for quite a while. Which, by the way, is quite good because this does not have a time-lapse mode or anything like that. So when you want to do something along those lines, you have to record it in real time. Also, what we have is a progressive 25 frames per second mode. That is the thing that really disappointed me with this camera, because it's not a real progressive mode. The camera part does work progressively, however, it is all being recorded into your standard 50i codec, which can cause problems in the post-production. I will be making another video about that issue and how you can solve it. Moving on, along here we have the selector for record and playback mode. We have this thing which turns off and on the on-screen controls, as you can see. By the way, this is of course a touch screen, which unfortunately is not the most sensitive in the world. The Sonys are definitely better. If the camcorder is off, it serves as a battery info button. I can just quickly demonstrate that. There it says battery info, and as you can see we have 50% battery life remaining. Turns off automatically after a while. Down here, behind this door, we have a component video output. It does require a proprietary cable that is not supplied with a camcorder. Next to it we have the AV jack, which also doubles as a headphone jack. You can switch the function of it in the menu of the camcorder. That's of course a bit of a problem when you are using this as a headphone output and you have it plugged in, you can't close the screen anymore. Well, that might be a bit of an inconvenience. On the back we have our viewfinder. It does pull out, but it does not tilt up or anything like that. It does have a little sharpness adjustment for your eyes. Down here we have the battery. This is the Canon no, it's not an Info lithium battery. What is that? It's an intelligent lithium-ion battery. As you can see, it is the original battery that came with a camcorder, but you definitely do have some space left to upgrade that to a bigger battery. And that would definitely be something that I would recommend doing, because this is a little short on battery life. Down here we have a little custom button, which you can custom program to have any function you want out of a given menu. For that custom switch, we have a little adjustment wheel down below, and it's really quite handy. Of course, what you may want to use this for is as an exposure control. If you press the custom button for a long amount of time, you get a little menu to choose the function from. As you can see, we have off, we have the auto exposure adjustment, we have the automatic gain limiter, we have a full manual control, and we also have the classic shutter speed and aperture settings. So that's what that is all good for. We do get some more custom programmable buttons right there, 2 of them. As you can see, they are preset for autofocus, manual focus, and for the powered image stabilizer, which works in the extreme zoom position, makes the picture be a bit more stable. Moving along, we have the record button. I unfortunately find this to be not the best record button I've ever seen. Sometimes it just won't react, so you have to push it quite hard. I'm not sure, of course, if it's just a thing with this particular camcorder or if that is the case in general. I just wanted to point that out. As we move on to the back, we have a nice comfortable carrying strap, and hiding behind that we have 2 things. We have the microphone jack, which is not a powered microphone jack, so you cannot directly plug in condenser microphones. That won't work. You do have to power them with a little battery. Down below here we have the second thing. This is a little door that folds up. I'm not sure if I can make that happen one-handed. Oh, there we go. This hides the LANC remote control jack and the HDMI out jack. This does require a mini HDMI cable, which does come along with a camcorder, so you don't have to buy it. Then we have a little mini USB jack to access the internal memory, as well as the SD cards if you have any installed. Of course, here we have the other channel for the microphones. Very nice setup. As you can see, they are separated. They are in quite a bit of a distance, so you do get a decent stereo separation. Right here we have the lens, of course. Down below is the infrared sensor for the instant autofocus function, which really is quite instant, I have to say. Big lens hood. As we move up onto the top of the camera, you can see we have also in this one the HD CMOS Pro image sensor. It is a sensor that has just as many pixels on it as the full high definition format requires. So you don't have any extra pixels for making fancy photographs or anything like that. The advantage is, at a given sensor size, those fewer pixels can be considerably bigger, meaning this camcorder is a lot more light sensitive. And it really is, as I have proven in another video. Up front you can see 10 times optical zoom, and of course an optical image stabilizer, which also does have a dynamic position, which adds a digital support to that. Here we have the zoom control, just the classic kind of slider switch. Does work quite well, and Right here on the back we have the Mini Advanced Accessory Shoe, which is a proprietary Canon shoe. It does have some contacts in it, so you can hook up external microphones and camcorder lights, and they are going to be connected to the camcorder electronics through this, and the camcorder lights will get a power supply through this. Unfortunately, this also means that you will need an optional adapter to install any third-party standard accessories on this camcorder. And that's it pretty much, I guess. This does have a very, very big menu system that I'm not going to go through because it would just take for hours. So, what do I think about this camcorder? Well, it's great. It really is. If you can get one for cheap, get it. It's great in low light, which is really an ability that is very, very important when you don't really do any sort of professional setups with external lights and all that. If you just want to film something, it really is a very important ability. This camcorder has great image quality. It is sharp. The focus is quick and precise if you have decent enough lighting. And the manual controls, well, first of all, they are all there. You can operate everything manual if you want. If you don't want to, the automatic functions are pretty good. Not quite as good as Sony, I have to say, but they are good. And if you want to operate this camcorder manually, you can actually do it. The custom programmable buttons, as well as the manual wheel and the focus ring, really make working with this camcorder in manual mode a pleasure. Really a great product that Canon put out. Does get my recommendation. And the only reason why I'm already getting rid of this again is because I got the Canon HF G10, which is even better. Well, thank you for watching, and see you again soon.